Welcome to our video on 10 budgeting tips for beginners. If you're just starting out on your financial journey or looking for ways to improve your budgeting skills, we've got you covered. In this video, we'll be sharing some simple yet effective tips to help you take control of your finances and reach your financial goals. This video will be a bit longer than usual, but we promise you one thing: it's worth watching till the end. So sit down, relax, and take some notes. Tip number 1. Start with a budget plan. The first step in budgeting is to create a plan. A budget plan is a roadmap that helps you understand where your money is going and where you want it to go. Set specific financial goals, such as saving for a down payment on a house or paying off credit card debt, and then create a budget that helps you achieve those goals. But creating a budget plan is not just about setting goals. It's also about understanding your current financial situation. Take a look at your income and expenses and identify any areas where you may be overspending or undersaving. Once you have a clear understanding of your financial situation, you can start setting realistic and achievable goals. When creating a budget plan, it's important to use a budgeting method that works for you. Some popular methods include the 50 to 30-20 rule, where 50% of your income goes towards necessities, 30% goes towards wants, and 20% goes towards savings and debt repayment, or the envelope method, where you physically allocate cash to different categories of expenses. Also, be realistic. Set goals that are achievable and not to be too restrictive with your budget. If you set unrealistic goals and make your budget too restrictive, it's easy to fall off track and give up on budgeting altogether. Instead, start small and make gradual changes to your budget as you become more comfortable and confident in your budgeting skills. Remember that budgeting is not a one-time task, it's an ongoing process. Review your budget regularly and make adjustments as needed. With a budget plan in place and the willingness to make adjustments as needed, you'll be able to take control of your finances and reach your financial goals in no time. Tip number 2. Track your expenses. To create an effective budget, you need to know where your money is going. Start by tracking all of your expenses, including fixed expenses like rent or mortgage payments and variable expenses like groceries or entertainment. This will give you a clear picture of where your money is being spent and help you identify areas where you can cut back. Tracking your expenses is not only important for creating a budget, but also for gaining a better understanding of your spending habits. It's a great way to identify any unnecessary expenses or areas where you may be overspending. Once you have a clear understanding of where your money is going, you can make informed decisions on where to cut back or where to allocate more of your budget. There are many ways to track your expenses, such as manually writing down your expenses in a notebook, using a spreadsheet, or downloading a budgeting app. Whichever method you choose, it's important to be consistent and track your expenses on a regular basis. When tracking your expenses, categorize them in a way that makes sense for you. This can be done by grouping expenses by category, such as housing, transportation, and entertainment, or by grouping them by type, such as fixed expenses and variable expenses. It's also important to not just track your expenses, but also your income. By keeping a record of your income and expenses, you can easily identify any discrepancies or areas where you may be overspending. Tracking your expenses can be intimidating, especially if you've never done it before. But with a little bit of effort and discipline, it can become a habit that will help you take control of your finances and reach your financial goals. And remember, it's never too late to start tracking your expenses, so start today and see how it can positively impact your financial situation. Tip number 3. Identify your needs and wants. Once you've tracked your expenses, it's important to understand the difference between your needs and your wants. Needs are essential expenses, such as housing, food, and transportation. Wants are non-essential expenses, such as dining out, shopping, and entertainment. By identifying the difference between your needs and wants, you can prioritize your spending and make sure that your needs are being met first. It's also important to note that everyone's needs and wants will differ. What is a need for one person may not be a need for another. For example, owning Renting a car may be a need for someone living in a rural area where public transportation is not readily available, while it may not be a need for someone living in a city where public transportation is easily accessible. So consider your own unique situation when identifying your needs and wants. Wants can be important too, and it's okay to have some in your budget. Just make sure that you're not overspending on them at the expense of your needs. By striking a balance between your needs and wants, you'll be able to prioritize your spending, reach your financial goals, and enjoy a good quality of life. Tip number 4. Create a zero-based budget. A zero-based budget is a budget where your income minus your expenses equals zero. This means that every dollar of your income has a specific purpose, whether it's being saved, invested, or used to pay bills. This approach helps you avoid overspending and ensures that every dollar is being put to good use. The main advantage of a zero-based budget is that it forces you to assign a specific purpose to every dollar you earn. It's easy to overspend when you don't have a budget in place, but with a zero-based budget, you're forced to think about where each dollar is going and if it aligns with your financial goals. This approach helps you take control of your finances and ensures that you're not wasting money on unnecessary expenses. Creating a zero-based budget is relatively simple. All you need to do is list all of your income and all of your expenses. Then subtract your expenses from your income. The difference should be zero. If it's not, you'll need to adjust your expenses to align with your income. This may mean cutting back on certain expenses or finding ways to increase your income. A zero-based budget is not meant to be restrictive, and it's not about living a frugal life. It's about being intentional with your money and making sure that every dollar is working towards your financial goals. Another important aspect of a zero-based budget is flexibility. Your income and expenses may change over time, and it's important to be able to adjust your budget accordingly. So it's important to review your budget regularly and make adjustments as needed. A zero-based budget may take some time to get used to, but once you've established the habit, it can be a valuable tool in achieving your financial goals. It can be a key to take control of your finances and ensure that your money is being put to good use. Tip number 5. Automate your savings. One of the most effective ways to save money is to automate your savings because it takes the guesswork and emotional factors out of the equation. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings account every month. This ensures that you're consistently setting aside money for your future, and you don't have to think about it. It's easy to let life get in the way of saving, but automating your savings ensures that you're consistently setting money aside for your future, and you don't have to think about it. Setting up automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings account is relatively simple, and most banks and financial institutions offer this service. You can set up the transfers to happen on a specific day of the month or on a recurring schedule, such as weekly or bi-weekly. When automating your savings, set a realistic amount that you can consistently transfer. Start small if you need to, and increase the amount as you become more comfortable with the process. It's also important to choose a savings account that offers a good interest rate so your savings can grow over time. Make sure that the automatic transfers are not affecting your daily life and that you are still able to pay your bills and meet your other financial obligations. Automating your savings can help you build an emergency fund, save for a down payment on a house, or even save for retirement. It's a simple but powerful way to reach your financial goals and ensure that you're consistently setting money aside for your future. And once you set it up, you don't have to think about it again. You can also automate other saving goals, such as saving for a vacation or a specific purchase, or even for your kids' education. This way, you can have multiple savings goals and ensure that you're consistently working towards them. Tip number 6. Use cash for discretionary spending. Using cash for discretionary spending, such as dining out or shopping, can help you stay within your budget. When you use cash, you're more likely to stick to your budget because you can physically see the money leaving your hand. Plus, it's harder to overspend when you're using cash because you can only spend what you have. Using cash for discretionary spending can be an effective way to stay within your budget, especially for those who tend to overspend when using credit or debit cards. When you use cash, you can physically see the money leaving your hand, which can help you stay more mindful of your spending. When using cash for discretionary spending, allocate a specific amount of cash for certain categories of expenses, such as dining out or shopping. This can be done by using the envelope method, where you physically allocate cash to different categories of expenses. For example, you can put cash in an envelope labeled dining out and only use that cash for dining out expenses. When the cash in the envelope runs out, you know that you've reached your budgeted amount for that category, and you shouldn't spend any more money on dining out for that period. Using cash can also help you avoid impulse purchases. When you're using cash, you have to physically hand over the money, which can give you a moment to think about whether you really need or want the item. When you're using a credit or debit card, it's easy to make impulse purchases because the act of paying doesn't feel as tangible. Using cash for discretionary spending doesn't mean you can't use credit or debit cards for other expenses, like bills or online shopping. The key is to be mindful of your spending and to only use cash for discretionary expenses, such as dining out or shopping, where you're more likely to overspend. Using cash for discretionary spending can be an effective way to stay within your budget and reach your financial goals. It's a simple but powerful tool that can help you take control of your spending and ensure that you're only spending money on the things that truly matter to you. Tip number 7. Keep an emergency fund. An emergency fund is a savings account that you can use for unexpected expenses, such as car repairs or medical bills. It's important to have an emergency fund in place so that you're not forced to put unexpected expenses on credit cards. Experts recommend saving 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses in an emergency fund. When setting up an emergency fund, choose a savings account that is easily accessible and offers a good interest rate. This way, you'll be able to access the money when you need it, and your savings will grow over time. Make sure that you're consistently adding to your emergency fund. You can set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your emergency fund, similar to how you would set up automatic savings. This way, you can make sure that you're consistently adding to your emergency fund, and it will grow over time. It's important to note that an emergency fund is not a substitute for a long-term savings plan, such as saving for retirement or a child's education. But it's an essential component of a solid financial plan that can help you weather unexpected financial storms. Having an emergency fund in place can provide peace of mind and help you feel more secure in your financial situation. It's a simple but powerful tool that can help you take control of your finances and ensure that you're prepared for the unexpected. Tip number 8. Prioritize your debts. If you have multiple debts, it's important to prioritize them. Start by paying off high-interest debts, such as credit card debt first. This will save you money in the long run because you'll be paying less in interest charges. One popular method for debt repayment is called the debt snowball method. This method involves paying off your smallest debts first, regardless of their interest rate, and then working your way up to the larger debts. This method helps you to see some progress quickly, which can be motivating and can help you to stay on track with your debt repayment goals. Another popular method is called the debt avalanche method. This method involves paying off your highest interest debts first, regardless of their balance. This will save you money in the long run because you'll be paying less in interest charges. This method can be more effective for those who are motivated by saving money, rather than seeing progress quickly. Although these two methods are slightly different, we definitely advise that you start by paying off high-interest debts, such as credit card debt, first. Credit card debt tends to have the highest interest rates, and the longer it takes to pay off, the more interest you'll have to pay. By prioritizing high-interest debts, you'll be able to save money in the long run and make progress towards becoming debt-free. When paying off your debts, it's important to make more than the minimum payments. The more you can pay towards your debts, the faster you'll be able to pay them off, and the less interest you'll have to pay. It's also important to consider other ways to reduce your debt, such as consolidating your debt, negotiating lower interest rates with your creditors, or looking into debt relief options. These options can help to lower your overall debt and make it more manageable. Prioritizing your debts and paying them off in a strategic way can help you save money in the long run and bring you closer to becoming debt-free. By making a plan and staying consistent with your payments, you'll be able to take control of your debts and improve your financial situation. Tip number 9. Take advantage of discounts and deals. There are many ways to save money on your expenses, such as using coupons, taking advantage of sales, and negotiating deals. By being vigilant about discounts and deals, you can save money on your expenses and stretch your budget further. Coupons can be found in newspapers, magazines, and online. They can be used for a wide variety of items, from food to clothing to household goods. By using coupons, you can save money on the items you need and put that money towards other expenses or savings goals. Another way to save money is by taking advantage of sales. Many stores offer sales on a regular basis, and by shopping during these sales, you can save money on the items you need. This is especially useful for big-ticket items like appliances, furniture, and electronics. You can also try renegotiating your monthly bills. Many bills, such as cable, internet, and cell phone bills, can be negotiated for a lower rate. By doing a little bit of research and being willing to negotiate, you can save money on these bills and put that money towards other expenses or savings goals. You can also save money by taking advantage of cashback apps, loyalty programs, and credit card rewards. These programs can help you save money on your expenses by giving you cashback or rewards points on your purchases. For example, cashback apps allow you to earn cashback on your purchases by linking your credit or debit card to the app. And loyalty programs or credit card rewards allow you to earn points or cashback on your purchases, which can be redeemed for discounts or gift cards. Another way to save money is by using comparison websites to compare prices on products and services. By comparing prices, you can find the best deals and make sure you're getting the most value for your money. Finally, take advantage of free trials, discounts, or offers that come with new services. Many companies offer free trials, discounts, or other incentives to try out their services. By taking advantage of these offers, you can save money on your expenses and get a chance to try out new services. If you are vigilant about discounts and deals, you can save money on your expenses and stretch your budget further. By taking the time to find and take advantage of discounts and deals, you can make your money go further and reach your financial goals more quickly. Tip number 10. Review and adjust your budget regularly. Your budget is not set in stone and should be reviewed and adjusted regularly. As your income and expenses change, so should your budget. Reviewing and adjusting your budget regularly will help you stay on track with your financial goals and ensure that your budget is still working for you. Review your budget at least once a month to make sure that your income and expenses are aligned. This will help you identify any discrepancies between your actual spending and your budgeted spending. If you find that you're overspending in certain areas, you'll need to adjust your budget accordingly. When reviewing your budget, take into account any changes in your income or expenses. For example, if you receive a raise at work, your income will increase, and you may be able to allocate more money towards your savings or other financial goals. Or if you have a new addition to your family, your expenses will increase, and you may need to adjust your budget to accommodate the new expenses. Consider your long-term goals and make adjustments to your budget accordingly. For example, if you're trying to save for a down payment on a house, you may need to cut back on other expenses in order to allocate more money towards your savings goal. Reviewing and adjusting your budget regularly will help you stay on track with your financial goals and ensure that your budget is still working for you. It's also a good opportunity to make sure that you're not overspending in certain areas and that you're able to live comfortably and save for your future at the same time. Thanks for staying till the end of this video, folks. We hope you found these tips helpful and are now ready to start managing your money more effectively. Remember, budgeting is not about restriction. It's about being in control of your finances and making sure your money is working for you. So, take the time to create a budget that works for you and stick to it. Remember, small changes can make a big difference in the long run. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great content